And this week, this video is about, what is it about?
What to do if your breath like your boyfriend? Hey friends, I'm Grace Ann,
And I'm Andrea,
and we are G&A for today,
and we are two best friends living a faith-based lifestyle and
documenting it.
yeah, so you should definitely follow us on our social media. We have an Instagram and a Twitter page, and they are at G&A for today.
There we go.
That's it.
We both have personal social media. Mine's flashing right here. Boop, ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Hers will flash right there. Boop, ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. If you haven't seen last week's video, you should go watch it because we talk all about the pros and cons of singleness.
And this video this week is about what to do if your best friend does not like your boyfriend. And we're gonna be real.
We're gonna get real.
So
Dip in
strap
for the tea.
and this is gonna be a fun ride.
So we wanted to make this video today because we have been in this exact same situation before, and we know that a lot of people out there could be in the same situation or go through similar situations, and we wanted to tell our story and then give some advice to both ends, to both the receiving and the friend. So
Yeah, so we wanted to start off with telling you our story. So I was the person with the boyfriend that the friend didn't like, and we had been dating for about 5 months before Grace Ann and some of our other friends. Wait, we need to have a safe word for his name.
oh yeah, let's create a name.
Seth.
Seth, that's a good name.
All right, I was dating Seth, and I really liked Seth. We met in college, and yeah, so I really liked him. And we were dating for about 5 months before Grace Ann and some of my other friends came to me, and what'd you tell me?
So I was one of the first people to know that Andrea and Seth were dating, and so I was kind of the first one to make an impression of him, I guess you could say, like out of our core four. And
We call our friend group the Core Four.
oh yeah, because
We're lame.
there's 4 of us, and we're like,
Yeah.
we're the core four because we're cute. We're not lame, we're cute.
Yeah, we're cute. Okay.
So I told the other girls, I was like, Andrea's dating Seth, and I don't like the way he does so and so, and I just don't think they're compatible. So we sat her down in the basement of one of my friends' houses, and we were like, look, we know you like are in love with Seth and all, but we don't like him.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we said. We were like, just come here.
Yeah, they were very blunt. They were very much like, we don't like him, but you gave like reasons.
Yeah, we told her why. We gave her examples. We were like, this is exactly why we don't like him, and this is the way we foresee this relationship going.
Yeah,
etc.
and when they set me down to talk about this, I was like very caught off guard. I don't know. I knew they didn't like love him, but I didn't know that they didn't like him so much that they would come to me about it. And I was very put off, kind of. Felt kind of offended. I was like,
Yeah.
why can't you just trust me in my decisions and be happy that I'm happy?
So I personally felt very anxious because, like we said before, we have been friends for years. And I knew that what I was telling her because I loved her and because I wanted to be honest with her. I didn't want to keep secrets from her. That's one thing that like our core four is really good at. We try not to keep secrets from each other at all because we like being honest. We think that honesty is the best policy. So I felt really nervous because I was like, what if she like doesn't want to be my friend anymore because I don't like
That's
Seth?
stupid.
Well, okay,
We've
but
been friends for so long.
yeah, but still, I was worried because you liked him a lot, and so I was like, I don't know, and I felt like she was gonna think that I was mad that she was in a relationship because I wasn't in a relationship at the time, and I had been single for a good amount of time at this point, and so I felt like maybe she was gonna kind of pass it off and be like, oh well, like they're not in a relationship, so like she doesn't understand, or like, you know, she just doesn't know how I feel about him or whatever. And that's not like where I was coming from, but that's kind of how I felt.
And when they told me, I was kind of mad at them for a little bit there. I was like, I just said, like, you just don't know him, like I know him, it's just because you haven't gotten a chance to hang out with him. And I kind of just pushed it aside and said, I like made the decision that, okay, I know that they have these feelings towards him, but at the same time, I'm gonna continue dating him because of my strong feelings for him. And
She was essentially in denial.
yeah, she told me.
I was like, you're in denial, but okay.
Yeah. I feel like deep down I knew that we weren't compatible for marriage, but at the time I was like, I feel like I was letting my emotions make my decisions.
Yeah. So then she kind of kept hinting at us that she wanted us to meet him in person because Andrea goes to school about 6 hours away from where we all live. So she was like, well, you haven't met him in person. Like, you can't have an impression of him because you haven't met him.
Which is valid.
Which is valid. I mean, like, she had a point, and we were trying to be open-minded. So it's like, well, maybe he's better in person. Like, maybe he's nicer or, like, you know, whatever. Maybe the things that she's telling me, I'm just getting a different impression of, whatever. So she was like, you just have to meet him. You have to meet him. Once you meet him, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So he came up
over Christmas break.
Christmas break. I was gonna say Thanksgiving, but it's Christmas. Came up close to Christmas, and we all met him like one-on-one in person, and we still felt the same way.
Really?
But we tried really hard. We did try really hard. I mean, you have to admit, we were open-minded enough to agree to meet him, because at this point, I was very reluctant. I was like, I don't want to meet him. I don't want anything to do with him. I don't like him. But Andrea was like, no, meet him because you love me and we're friends and you have to meet him because he's my boyfriend. I was like, okay, fine. So we all met him, and she just kept like telling us, you know, if you meet him, talk to him, get to know him, you'll feel different. So we met with him and didn't feel any different.
Seth and I dated for about 8 months, almost 9, I think, and then pretty much immediately after the breakup, I kind of had a realization that we weren't compatible and that we weren't meant to be, and that he wasn't the one I wanted to marry, even though for all this time I thought he was. But pretty much immediately after we broke up, I was thankful for Grace Ann and my other friends telling me how they felt, because I feel like if I were in their situation, I would have done the exact same thing, because we were so close. We want to be honest about our feelings for each other, and I legitimately wanted to marry this person, and I told them that, and I would way rather them have told me how they felt than me gone on and married him and then they held back their feelings. I would way rather them be honest with me.
Yeah, I agree. All in all, we're glad it happened.
Yeah.
So we wanted to give you some advice if you are the friend that doesn't like your friend's boyfriend. So we have a couple bullet points, and we're just going to kind of go back and forth and then comment on those. So the first one is be honest with your friend. If you guys have been friends for a long time, or if you're really, really close friends, the best thing for you to do is to be honest with them and just be straightforward. Don't beat around the bush. Be honest and be blunt. Be like, look, I love you, but I don't like them.
And you also need to make sure that you don't make a rash decision on how you feel about the boyfriend, and you don't tell them about it too soon. You don't need to say 1 month into dating, decide, oh, I don't like her boyfriend, and then tell her right then and there, because you haven't given him a chance yet. It hasn't been long enough of a time for you to really have a good opinion.
Yeah, and I think too, whenever you are starting off telling them, make sure that it's not like a fling, because sometimes your friends are going to get in relationships that they know they're not supposed to be in, but they're just being in because they want to be in a relationship and they know it's not going to last long. So if it's that type of thing, you know, maybe hold back and just be like, you know, maybe after the fact, be like, yeah, I didn't like him, so I'm glad it's over, you know?
But it's different when it's a serious relationship and you're talking about future.
So I think you kind of need to just base it off of how the relationship starts and where your friend sees it going and where you think it should go.
Yes.
Also, make sure that you're not being too harsh. I know that sometimes there's a fine line between being blunt and being harsh, but you want to make sure that you're still doing it in a loving way. Because at the end of the day, even though I didn't like Seth, like, I still loved Andrea. And at the end of the day, even if by some crazy chance they got married I still would have supported her because it made her happy. And if you are not telling your friend the things that you're telling them because you love them, then you need to kind of reevaluate where you're getting these feelings from and make sure that you're not having these feelings of dislike because you're jealous or you're upset that they're taking your friend away or something like that. You need to really evaluate how you feel and make sure that it's coming from a place of love.
Also, make sure that you're being open-minded. You might not like the boyfriend, but in the end, the boyfriend might be good for your friend, and you and your friend are not the same person, so they're going to be attracted to people of different personalities that you will be attracted to. So you need to be open-minded and think about your friend and think about what is best for their needs, and know that what you need is not the same as what she needs.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback off that, as the friend, you need to be willing to be wrong. And I think it applies to both sides, but I think really when you are the friend and you have a first impression of this boyfriend, make sure that when you go into this conversation and you talk to them about it, be okay with the fact that you could be wrong. Because we have a close friend who, when she first got in this relationship she's in now, I was like, I'm not a fan of this person and I don't like this relationship. But now he has really proved himself and they're probably going to get married and it's going to be fantastic and we're so excited about that. But be willing to be wrong. And because even when I was talking to Andrea about Seth, I was hoping that I was wrong because I want her to be happy. And if Seth made her happy, then great. And if I was wrong, fantastic. So go into it with that mindset and think, okay, if I'm wrong, then it's okay because at least my friend's happy.
Now we wanted to give you all advice if you are the person like me in our situation, if you are in the relationship and your friend is coming to you telling you that they don't like your boyfriend. So just like if you're the friend, if you're in the relationship, you have to make sure you're open-minded and you have to listen to what your friend is telling you and come back and think about it. You don't just cut them off and say, no, you're wrong. You have to listen and hear them out because they are your friends. Like, you need to show them respect.
Also with that, you need to know that your friend is most likely coming to you out of love for you, not because they're jealous. Like we said, when you're the friend, you have to look inside yourself and make sure that you're coming from a place of love. But if you're receiving the advice, make sure that you know that they love you and that they're your friend and they're not telling you this because they don't want you to be happy, because 9 times out of 10, all they want is for you to be happy.
Also, if your friend is coming to you saying that they don't feel like your boyfriend is right for you, then you really need to pray about it before you make a decision, because that could be a sign from God, and because your friends know you better than anyone almost, and if they think that someone's not right for you, then it could be true. So you don't need to just say, that is wrong, I'm not going to listen to them. You need to step back and listen to what they say and pray about it and really ask God, like, God, are you trying to tell me I'm not supposed to be with this person?
Also, another piece of advice is to make sure that there's good blood between you and your partner and your friends. Make sure that when you make your decision, whether it's to stay with the person or to leave them, that you are 100% sure, that you have prayed about it, that you are firm in your decision. You know that this relationship is a godly relationship and it's going where it needs to go and it's making you happy. Once you decide that, be very sure, be firm about it, and make sure that when you talk to your friend about it or your friends, make sure that, you know, there's still no tension there, that you lay everything out on the table and that you talk about it, because at the end of the day, you don't want bad blood between your friends and your boyfriend.
You need to talk about it respectfully. Say, I understand where you're coming from, but you need to understand that he makes me happy.
Yep. We also wanted to throw a disclaimer across this whole video because we know that there are probably some people in situations like this that are experiencing domestic violence, and we want to make it very clear to you that if your friends are coming to you because you're in a relationship where you are experiencing verbal or physical harm, that they're coming to you out of a place of love, and it is not okay for you to accept verbal or physical harm. We're going to provide some links in the description. If you know anyone that is experiencing domestic violence, please send them these links. We don't want anyone to think that they have to settle for verbal harassment or physical abuse, because you're worth more than that. You're God's child and you don't deserve that. And if you are experiencing that, please reach out to one of these links in the description. We're going to put a domestic violence hotline and a website for you to go to that explains what domestic violence is and how to seek help. Make sure that if you feel like you're experiencing domestic violence, that you reach out to someone for help, and that if you know someone that is struggling with domestic violence, that you reach out to them, tell them you love them and that you're here for them, and send them this link and let them know that we don't stand for domestic violence and that there's a way to fight it and there's a way to be safe.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. We know that this is a situation that a lot of people go through. We went through it, so we know that there are a lot of people out there that are going through this. So we hope that it can be some help to you. If you will, comment below about if you've ever been through a situation like this, or if you have any questions or you need some more advice on how to deal with it, because it did test our friendship, but we came out of it a lot stronger. So let us know if you've had any situations like that in your life.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. It's going to be right down there. Hit that like button if you like this video, if you like our content. It helps us out a lot. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video.
Stay tuned. Exactly 1 week from today, you're going to get a video from us about our thoughts on tattoos. And so that's going to be really interesting. We're going to talk about if we have any tattoos and just what we think about them. And we're going to introduce you to one of our friends, Ashton. She's in our 4-4 friend group that we talked about earlier. But yeah, stay tuned for that. It's going to be really exciting.
Bye, friends!